Welcome to another Fantasy Goodfellas video where we talk about the top wide receiver trends for week 7. You ready?
The Fantasy Goodfellas.
Boom, boom, boom. Rolling on the field.
The Fantasy Goodfellas.
Alright, let me just explain how we're going to do this. We're just going to look at the results from week 6, and then we're going to try to point out some trends up or down. So let's go ahead and look at week 6's top 10. You have George Pickens, Jackson Smith, Jigba, Drake London, Keyshawn Boutte, Marquez Brown, Ladd McConkey, Metcalf, Chase, Thomas, McMillan. Those were your top 10. Here's your top 20. So some names kind of stand out that I'm not familiar with. And here is the top 30 for wide receivers. Now, when you look at this list, which a lot of times I do, I need to see if there's anybody rostered. So this is the rostered percentage taken from Fantasy Pros rostered results. So this gives me an idea who is a standout, who's not really rostered. So this gives me definitely something to kind of look for when I'm going through some players that I want to pick up for week 7, but I just want to see how they're trending. So that's going to be our next thing. So I'm going to remove that rostered percentage. Now I'm going to come back here and use our top 10, and now I'm going to move to trends. So if you look at it here, George Pickens is trending, London, Bourne, Doubs, Metcalf, Diggs. Now, Diggs didn't have a particular strong outing. That's because you're taking this, if they played 6 games, you're taking the last 3 games and comparing it to the first 3 games. So it tries to balance it out. So if they only played 5 games, they'll take the top 2 and compare it to the previous 2. And so that's what it looks like when we're making these decisions. Now we're going to round this out. Now you can see some players that are trending up. Mims, Chase, McConkey, Dortch. Let's look at Greg Dortch. His name's come up in some of my lists because he got a touchdown. So if you look here, you'll take the top 3 weeks and compare it. That's with yards. This is with touchdowns. And this is by points. So you can kind of see why he's trending up. So if you're looking for available players, Dortch could be trending up. Well, we see him trending up, and this kind of rounds it out again. This is our top 30. And so this tells you who's trending. Luke McCaffrey. Now, once again, this list doesn't tell me much unless I show who's rostered. Now it gives me not only which players are trending, but what's the percentage of rostered for these players. So there's a couple standouts you can look. Van Jefferson. I haven't seen much about a Titan, so now I want to look. Got an old image there, but he did 75 receiving yards. If you want to see, now you can take, let's just, I don't know if they played or a bye, so it'll skip a bye and it'll skip it if they don't play. So even if it took those two weeks, you can see that he's trending up. Now we want to kind of come back here. Let's remove the rostered thing, the rostered percentage points, and now we're going to just look at the top 10. This was the trending up. Now we want to trend down. Which players are trending down? Trey Tucker, certainly trending down. Allen, Odunze, Hopkins, Renfro, St. Brown's even. Let's look at St. Brown. Here's a player that got 45 receiving yards. If you look at overall, that's his yards, that's his TDs, and this is his points. So it kind of looks like it's definitely takes in the first 3 games, comparing it to the last 3 games, you can see he's definitely trending down as well. This one, you'd want to see the highest registered, but we can tell that already. So let's just round that out. Here's the top 20 trending down players. So these are, again, it balances it out. Keenan Coleman, if you look here, 11 receiving yards. You look and say, wow, here's his TDs and here's his overall points. You can see if they take the first 3 weeks and compare it to the last 3 weeks, you can see why it's trending down. And let's just round out this top list here. Devontae Adams trending down. A.J. Brown, even though he had a standout game. Let's take a look at this player, A.J. Brown. I have him on my team. He did fairly well compared to what he's been doing, but that's his yardage, that's his TDs. Overall, if you look at the points, you'll see that it doesn't compare. And this is why I like looking at stats, because sometimes I can't tell. Here, we'll pop in and look at Garrett Wilson as well. And you say, well, look at that week 6. You can touchdowns. Definitely had about the same amount of touchdowns. And then if you look here, certainly it would be week 6 compared to week 2. Take the first 3 weeks compared to the last 3 weeks, and you can see he's definitely trending down. And that's going to do it for this week's video. I definitely want to say I like to use stats to make my decisions, and I hope I showed you the best stats of any fantasy football channel out there.